Hey everybody, welcome to 21 Million. My name is Pete. Please take a moment to like and subscribe to my channel. I got some, obviously, 90s music on, and we are ready to roll. Pretty exciting day yesterday. Wild day. I'm always futzing with my camera. Yeah, let's get right into it because I don't want to go too long. I don't want to end up talking for like 2 hours. So let's get to business. So we have let's take a look at the markets real quick. So yesterday was a little turbulent day, and I think today might be a little turbulent also. Powell is actually testifying again today, and then Friday we have the jobs reports come out this Friday, and then on the 14th, which is this Tuesday coming up, we have the CPI, which, I mean, who knows? You know, the market is so fragile, I feel like right now. So, but anyway, let's get to the market. We have we're still over $1 trillion market cap on CoinMarketCap. I gotta lower my music a little bit. Let me see, guys. It's gonna pick up. Okay, it seems like it's okay now. So we have $1 trillion market cap, 24-hour volumes at 46 billion. BTC's at 42.2% dominance. ETH is at 18.9. Make sure you like and subscribe. Bitcoin's at 21.9. 22,000. Just clicked over. $22,000. Just clicked under. It's hovering right around $22,000. Ethereum's at 1551. BNB's at 286, under $300. That's got to be one of the. They got crushed last week. A lot of FUD. XRP's at 39 cents. Pumped a little bit yesterday. It's probably one of the only ones that are green on the 24 hour. Definitely up almost 5.5% in 24 hours. We have and there goes that divergence because they were running pretty similar up until just yesterday, just recently. We have Polygons at $1.09, which is definitely down. That's a winner chicken dinner. You can definitely get in on a play with that. Doge is at 7 cents. Still in the top 10. Crazy. We have the Binance BUSD, and the only reason I picked this out, obviously, it's at $1. The burn. So I think it was like when they first said it, it was the circulating supply was at 14 million or 14 billion. Or 16 billion. It was definitely in the teens in billions, so it's probably almost cut in half now as people are getting out of their BUSD, obviously, and they can't create anymore, and they have to keep it at $1. So, Burn City. Solana's at $18.75, and Litecoin's at $84. Don't forget, Litecoin halving is coming up this summer. Let's take a look at the Fear and Greed Index. It's at 50. It's up a little bit from yesterday, which is pretty wild because yesterday was a pretty bad day. You would figure it would have ticked lower towards fear, and in reality it ticked higher towards greed, which is pretty crazy. It was 49 yesterday. And then pretty much it's been around 50. It's been neutral. I haven't seen anything. Last month it ticked up as high, I guess, as 56 for greed, which was a pretty sideways month, but weird. So let's go over some. Let's go over the charts first, and then we'll get into news. I just decided that. You can see I'm well planned. So here we go. This is the index, and we're just going to take a look at this just to show the halvings. And just to go over and see where we are on the roadmap to the bull run, to the halvening. Okay, so I have marked off these two blue lines. This is new from yesterday, just in case you missed it. These blue lines are signify the before the halvening, the yearly high. Okay, so we had a yearly high. It was right before the Litecoin halvening, either coincidence or not. It was probably people trading Litecoin, and the pairing was Bitcoin, and it pushed the price up in my opinion. Okay, so on this chart, we're not going to chart anything out or do any lines or anything. We're just going to take a look at just where we are on the path. So, like always, halvenings are white before 75 weeks, after 75 weeks approximately. And this is just mimicked to assume that we're going to have a similar outcome. It is similar when you go back to 2011. The other halvenings, events and bull runs, usually a little bit shorter, but the last two have been about the same, about 75 weeks. So right here, so this blue line that I put for 2023 signifies the same amount of time that we had from the bottom to the yearly high, which also coincides with the Lycaon happening that's going to happen this year. Okay, so that's the time frame. My expectations are, without a complete economic collapse, and I've been saying this, in May we're going to be in the 40s. So I really see this as being bullish. When you look at this, the way it sits, it is quite bullish. But there are events. So back in 2015, we had this market crash. Okay, this was Bitfinex. So it's just a giant wick for the week of the August 17th. Things like, I don't see that happening again because Bitcoin is a lot stronger. The price is a lot higher. The market manipulation, people can't manipulate it as easily. And then over here, we obviously have March of 2020 and the shenanigans that happened. Not shenanigans, but the world event. So this would have been the bear market, and then we had a world event here. So to say that, it's possible we could. This could have been actually a nice little bowl. We could have had a nice little curve right here. Over this long wick down is the FTX scandal. And then we bounced right back up. So let's take a quick look. Like I was saying yesterday, I probably could make the 4-year cycle on the total market cap. It probably would match pretty close. It probably would match almost identical. When you look at them right next to each other, they're almost very similar. I was just looking for the diminishing returns. No. So this is the market cap, total market cap. On the weekly. So we are currently, the blue line represents the 50-week moving average. The red line is the 200-week moving average. So right now on the weekly, it looks like we got trapped between, knocked down. So as far as this goes, the trend line that I'm looking for, and I think I did this yesterday with you guys. We're going to stick to yellow so you guys can see it nice. So something similar to this, I would say, is probably the trend that we're on. Yeah, like this. We have 1 touch point, 2, 3 touch points, 4, 5. That's a trend. Okay, and it looks like we might be finding support on this trend line. A break of this would be not good. Okay, so a break of this, and then, these are gaps. Let's take a look. Let's do a quick let's look for a golden pocket. So let's go down. So right here, I would say, so the golden pocket falls in those giant wicks, and usually these are very explosive. So anything that's below this, coming through it, is usually quite explosive, as you can see through these two giant candles on the total market cap. Once it breaks through, it's going to free fall. But it's going to be major support. It should. So as you can see, it hit off of, if we extend this out, hold on, let me extend this out a little bit. Let's go this way. You could see that there was definitely a wick down, bounced right above it, and it's starting to test it, and then finally tested and moved on. Okay, then it tested it a second time. Now this is during, like I said, this is all FTX. This is SBF. This is a big Ponzi scheme, crypto world. Periodically, I have to check and make sure. The other day I was recording and I forgot that I wasn't even recording. I had to end the show early, so every once in a while I have to look over. I need a producer. But once we've got over it, explosive move to the upside. So is it possible? I mean, we could come down and maybe start to test this area. Find this as support. So it would be what is it? 900 billion approximately. It's possible. But 915, 914. It's possible we could find this as support right now and start to move up, which would coincide with this trend line. I mean, that would be nice. That'd be nice confirmation. Test it again and let's go. Okay, so total market cap. Let's just look at the. I really don't want to do the daily, but actually, let's go back to the weekly. Let's look at the money flow. Sorry, guys, I'm banging around a little bit. Bangarang. So yeah, so we have the red dot, momentum dots coming down. We're in the red still. Looks like hopefully it starts to curve in. And like I said yesterday, maybe we get that head and shoulders over here. Shoulder, head, shoulder, and then we start to move up. But honestly, I'm like I say all the time, I'm a bull. I don't think it doesn't have to necessarily happen. On the RSI, we just dipped below the 50. I was hoping to actually find that a support and to move up, but not necessarily. We could find the moving average as support, which would be nice. They could start to cross. We did have some divergence here, them moving apart. Speaking of divergence, I wonder if you can spot divergence on the RSI. I mean, there would be divergence if you think about it. I mean, that also would actually be the trend line if we're going to get technical. Let's lock these in place. I deleted it. Let's lock these, and we'll take a look. We'll keep an eye on them when we do the show. I want to see real quick. So let's take a look at. So we have a divergence here. So right here, trend is going up. So that's actually bearish. So we have a bearish divergence on the weekly. So that's not good. I'm not going to lie. It doesn't sound too good. But it could. Yeah, I don't have. Yeah, no, that's a bearish divergence. So I guess we will see how that plays out in the weeks ahead. Don't forget this is the 1 week. Instinctively, I want to go back and look and see if there's any divergences that were similar in 2019. Does this go back 2019? Actually, let me change one more thing. Let me put it to regular instead of the logarithmic. Let me make sure this still makes sense. Yeah, it still makes sense. Okay. Let's go back to 2019 real quick. Around this time. Around March. Let's take a quick look and see. Yeah, I don't see any bearish divergence here. Leading up to the breakout to show that it doesn't work. All right, so there we go. We found the bearish divergence on the total market cap on the weekly. All right, let's go to Bitcoin. Bitcoin weekly. Like I have those marked, those gaps. The gaps. So this is the trend, similar trend that I was showing before on the total market cap. We could come down and, simultaneously fill this gap and also find support on the wedge. It's probable. The only idea I was toying with yesterday was the trend line possibly, being like this. which is also possible. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, I think it's likely because, yeah, I'm sticking with this. This is what I want to see. Keep in mind, guys, everyone that's, if you have people like, if you're watching people like me and I'm a bull, I'm looking for bullish signals. And if you watch somebody like Crypto Savvy, who's I forget the other guy that's calling for a $10,000 bottom. Drop it in the comments. You know who he is, the capo or something. They're looking for bearish signals. So just keep that in mind. So the difference of me moving that trend line, not much, justifies me that we're not going to go as low. But having the trend line the way that I had it would mean that this could possibly get filled. Having it where it is, I think, makes more sense for me. And I'll tell you why. So we have here, we found support on the trend line. We moved up. Now we have the new top that we saw in August of 2022. And then sharp movement down. Tested it again. Tested it. We broke through, closed below it. A hard rejection off of it. A hard rejection again. Rejection. Broke through a second time. And then finally the big crash through. So for me, I think that's actually where I see the trend line. So actually it doesn't seem too bad now. Doesn't seem as bad. Let's take a look at the weekly real quick. Let's do a little fib level, find that golden pocket again. So here we would have, so the fib levels would be 21.532 would be the next support, which we tested here. Could be tested a second time. Could this be a double bottom on that fib level and then a move up? It's definitely potential, strong potential. I mean, we could do that, this week, next week, and then start moving up. Something else that I saw that was interesting, and drop in the comments your thoughts on this. So we have a bullish engulfing candle right here. This thing got demolished. Okay, so that's very bullish. And it seems like we're finding support also in this area around the 21, where we've been hanging out around 22,000. If we break that, I think we would see the that fib level be tested, or this trend line, this area. I wouldn't say we would go lower. I don't think we necessarily need to fill this. I mean, filling it would put us hitting off of the golden pocket again, which would put us 19.2 if we were to break this to fill this completely, unless we have a strong wick down. I don't see it. I'm pretty bullish, going back to that, to our roadmap. We're there. So positive news above us. We do have some gaps that need to be filled. Okay, these are the gaps that were off of the CME futures. They get filled all the time, every time, except for these two. We have two sitting here that need to be filled. That's pretty bullish. Let's look on the weekly real quick. The money flow. I know Chair Powell speaks at 10:30, so I want to make sure I let you guys go before then. So same thing as we saw before, potential head and shoulders on the money flow, inverse head and shoulders. VWAP is crossing down. That's pretty bearish. On the weekly, it's pretty much the same as the total market cap. So maybe we do find support here. We did have some divergence from it. Come down, maybe go underneath it. That's going to happen soon. I don't think, this can happen by next week, next 2 weeks. It doesn't have to happen, though. So we could, it could be something like this back in April 2019, which would be, it's funny enough, that's exactly where we are in the cycle, a similar time. So we have here, they diverged right here significantly, started to come up like they were going to cross and bounced and took off. So that's possibly, it's got legs, guys. This theory, this crazy theory of mine. Hold on, I'm going to take a look actually over here. Where was it? Right here? I wonder if there was a divergence here, a bearish divergence. I would love to see a bearish divergence that worked out, that it didn't work out. So here we have the crash, we had a bottom. Hold on. Right? Wouldn't you want to see a divergence that didn't work out? A bearish divergence that didn't work? No, I don't see one here. Bummer. All right. Let's check on the weekly and see if there's a divergence on the weekly too. I mean, it's a weak one. It's a weak, bearish. Oh, I'm going to take a peek. Well, no, the bullish divergence would have happened already. That was back here. Okay. Anyway, let's move on. Let's go to the daily, not 3-day, because it's in the money. makes me feel optimistic. Let's get rid of this fib level. All right. So starting on the daily, the 3-day. So we're in the green, right? We'll start for good news. We have this bowing in. Maybe we have the VWAP starts to cut in. That'd be nice. Bullish. Get us moving. So bad news. So we have this trend line. We broke out of it yesterday. And then, we broke out of it, yesterday. Because it's 2 days until this ends. So, yesterday we broke out of it, closed below it, and then we got to get back in there. So, so if this breaks down, okay, we're going to go back to the weekly. This is more likely. Okay, so if this breaks down, where we see it on the 3-day, we're going to start to break down. On the daily, we could probably see it even more. Yeah, so if this breaks down, hold on, I'm going to take these. Let's make these visible for the days too. Let's go back to the daily. And let's make these blue. So there's less confusion. All right. So here. So firstly, a breakdown means that my broadening wedge is theory is garbage. Okay, so we'll start there. If this actually breaks down right now and starts to head down, my theory is over. Okay. At that point, if it breaks down and hits the yellow trend line, it's still possibly an ascending. It's still possibly an ascending broadening wedge. So maybe my theory is not completely dead, but it's close to dead. Yeah, it would have to come down to about 20,004 for my theory to be completely garbage. As we speak, actually, Bitcoin is looking a little red. On the daily, we're still in the green, starting to dip down. We have a lower low, not very bullish. We have the VWAP, looks like it's curving in to head back down, not very bullish. Doesn't look very bullish. And we have the rejection out of the broadening wedge. So, not too good. Let's take a look at a shorter term fib level. So we are through this golden pocket, and as you can see, it's quite explosive. Sharp movement, sharp movement, sharp movement. And actually, we could probably go even like this, and it's probably make even more sense. Hold on. Okay, I couldn't see the orange line. I don't want to be inaccurate. So here. So as you can see here, sharp movement through it, sharp movement again, back out of it, back through it, right here, hit it, tested it, blew out of it. And same thing here, sharp movement, bounce off of it. Now we're under it. So this is interesting. We're actually in it, right? I know we're under it. So next level here would be the 21,432, which definitely has potential. Now that we're below it, absolutely. So maybe that's a play, guys. Maybe we see something like this. Maybe a little short action and then move up. What I was saying yesterday was we have a bullish divergence. We have a bullish divergence. Price action moving up, okay? And then RSI moving down. The only way this could be nullified would be if this comes down to possibly this level here. Then it would nullify it with this, because then they would be even, okay? As of right now, it is moving up. Okay, so if it comes down to the 21,432, the bullish divergence then is nullified, which would suck. It sucks. I think this is actually likely, something like this. I could tell you for one thing, if it bounces here and it starts to test this golden pocket, like you see here, all these movements, these sharp movements, these blowout movements through it, pack your bags, guys, because that's going to be the move. And that's when we're going to see those, one of those giant candles, these big candles to the upside. The worst has happened already, and we actually are floundering through it. Actually, I think that's bullish. Also, so these big giant candles get filled. See, this gets filled. These weren't filled. That's interesting, but that's too low. We're not going there. We're going to find support on this right here around the 786 level, 21,432. If we do fall, and we're going to get hard bounces. Guys, it could turn around right here and just zip out. This could be something similar to, I can see something similar to here. And maybe that would be our double bottom off of the 21,432. These are pretty significant levels. Let's take a look here. Let's draw a line on the 21,432. I'm about there. Let's just go across. So here, hit our head here. Look here, found support, a couple days, and then blast through, which would be us falling through that golden pocket again. See if you go across, you can see it. And then right now, where the price action is, right here, you can see it having trouble right here, blowing through that same golden pocket in that same area right here. Look at the big candles, big candle fall through. Right here, hitting our head on it. Right here, bang, bang. This is actually a very important level, the 21,432. That's significant, to say the least. Yeah, look at all the price action that happens around that 21,432 area. That's interesting, right? So I think we find this as, if we do come down, as a tremendous support. If we do come down. Don't have to. Let's go a step down. I'm going to leave that mess of a chart up, and we can come back tomorrow and look at it. Let's look at the 4 hour. I have nothing drawn. So the trend line that we were working on the other charts was around here. And then, as you can see, we've fallen out of it. So the goal today would be to get action and get back in there. If not, 21,432 would be that target. and we'd see action something like this, hopefully, and then the movement up. So a guy like, I know Crypto Savvy's been talking about let's go to the weekly, the $10,000 mark. And I want to just show you what his thoughts are on this, which I don't agree on. His chart, he's got something like this drawn, and I'm just doing this quick. He has something like this drawn. He's got this on Coinbase. And this is him calling for his $10,000, is that we're going to head into here. The only thing is, so my opposition to what he says is that this is more like it. This is the falling wedge. And our breakout was here. Let me get in there tight. Our breakout was here. This is us confirming and then moving out of it. So my lines aren't exactly proper, but just to give you an idea what that freak's talking about, I think we're moving up. This is where it turns around, and this is the part where things start to get weird. You know, we're going to bang up to 48,000 as Bitcoin looks very weak. Okay, let's take a quick look at Dixie. Yesterday, obviously, Bitcoin goes down, stock market goes down, dollar rips. Yeah, we need a momentum on the weekly. We need a red momentum dot. We need this thing to come down. It's like found new life. So on the weekly, so what was the January? Here's January. So actually just yesterday, this week, it's setting a new yearly high. So the dollar is ripping. Yesterday, probably, big white candle. Look at that. So this is the wedge, actually, I guess. Let's see. This is my wedge. So it looks like it's potentially getting rejected, which would be nice. Get some downward action. Looks like it's coming down, actually, as we speak. So that's good. Let's take a look. I saw somebody do this the other day. Inverted it. And it would seem like it's in a downtrend, right? So it's trending up in reality. But this would look like a top. And then it was coming down. Now. Yeah. So not very bullish on that. Let's take a fib level from the top here to the bottom. So next would be $1.06 would be the next fib level. And look, we actually found support on that 236. Hopefully we get rejected here at the 382, and this starts to do a downtrend. Somebody told me before I went on, take a look at the S&P. S&P had a big red day yesterday. But like I was saying, those big candles up get filled. And I bet you there's a gap here too on the daily. Yeah, so there's an opening gap. So opening gap, bullish, get filled 92% of the time. So this was 92% likely to get filled, which it looks like it is or about to get filled. So it looks like the market just opened up 5 minutes ago, not starting off strong. So maybe we do find support around that 39.81 level, where we had that opening gap. It's quite possible. Let's shut this off. Let's see if there's any fib levels in that area. Some local fib levels. Yeah, look at that. Actually, the 382 level at 39.28 intersects with the trend line. Isn't that wild? Look at that. Bang, right off of it. we went above, it got rejected off the 236. That's what this is, a rejection. Because if you put this over to the weekly, yeah, I'm on the weekly. Yep. We are open, close, right under it again. So we got a rejection off of this 236 level. And hopefully the 3928, the 382 level at 3928, potentially as a double bottom. And then hopefully this moves up, dollar comes down, and then assets start to move upward, gold and Bitcoin. Let's take a look at the 10-year bond rates. So we want this to come down too. This is a signal. If the rates are coming down, that's a signal for inflation coming down. So which is good. So we have, looks like it's bouncing off of that 236 level. A fall from here, we'll put it to the 382. Okay. And we definitely need this to come down. And if we invert it, it looks like it hit a bottom. And we're going to move up. Bottom, the nice little V's, little pivots. Okay, which would be, actually, if you look here, I thought that was a full engulfing. It was close. Yeah, it looks like it's coming down. We needed to just break this support at the 236 and start to head down. We want those rates to come down. If this breaks support and this rates really starts to come down significantly, and then we get the jobs report, honestly, we want the unemployment to go up, okay, or to sideways, okay? So we want unemployment to at least go sideways. I don't want to see people at work, but if the if the jobs go sideways, this breaks support and starts to come down the 10-year, and then the CPI comes back. And last month, the CPI came back down from January. So February was less, but not as low as they expected. If we have something similar happen, or, let's say maybe it came down higher than expected, we could see a market rip. I mean, it's coming. It's possible. All right, so those are the three things, some bullish things we have to look out for. So job reports coming out. Love for it to show sideways action or down. And then we want the next week on the CPI to come out as expected, as they thought it was going to be, or better than expected. And then we want the 10-year bonds, the rates to come down. So we're at 3.9. Yesterday it was over 4 again. But we want it to really break that 236 level that I'm saying right here at 3.9 and really start to head south. So this looks almost like a blow off top, with the rates. This is a blow off top right here. Here, maybe we start to see some, this is so we have a lower low, we have a higher low, a lower high. We have a lower high, and then a lower low, then a higher high. We really want a lower low now. Now, when was this? This is February 23. Rates had gone as low as 3.3, and then shot back up. Looks like we're getting rejected here at 4. A lower low would be nice. That would be great. But let's get into some of the news, and then we will roll out. So a couple things quick. So we have Binance.us can move ahead with plan to acquire Voyager Digital Assets, judge rules. The bankruptcy judge in the Voyager Digital case chose to allow the deal with Binance.us over objections from the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission and state regulators. It says Binance.us cleared a major hurdle in its effort to acquire the assets of bankrupt crypto lender Voyager Digital in a deal worth $1 billion after Michael Wiles a bankruptcy judge in the Southern District of New York overruled the various objections to the proposed acquisition. Just look quick. I'm just reading quickly through this. So with all the FUD that was going on yesterday, with them not being solvent, Binance, and obviously all the speculation is going to turn to the biggest exchange, the biggest in the world. They blow Coinbase out of the water. They blow Bybit out of the water. They're huge, all over. It could have been just FUD. Seems likely it was FUD, and it could have been even orchestrated for whatever reason to not allow Voyager to be bought out by Binance. That's a huge win for the people in Voyager that got crushed. Hopefully something similar can happen with Celsius for those poor people. Next up, we're just going to talk about the SEC getting crushed. Judges express skepticism of U.S. Arguments in Grayscale Bitcoin ETF hearing. So this is not as bullish as that, as actually a judge coming in, but he's just showing he's being skeptical, and that's why we had Grayscale rip a little bit yesterday. Was off of that news. So a couple things. Let's actually look at GBTC. Let's see. I haven't even looked at it. Grayscale. Yeah, let's take a look at it quick. So I'm on the daily. Let's look at the weekly. Oh, we got some gaps. Some bearish gaps over here. Around $18. That's interesting. So we have, so real quick. 50-day blue, 50 week moving average, 20-week moving average. The moving average for 200, it's way under. I mean, I can totally see that ripping up, especially with positive news. This might be actually a good buy. Looks like a significant level over here in this area where it's could potentially be breaking through. Money flow is starting to come in, and actually, what I had read was, so let's look real quick at the weekly. It's August the 22. January. So yesterday it did a yearly high, which is pretty weird because it usually runs pretty similar with Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is definitely not at the yearly high. So that's something to take into consideration. It's something to take into consideration. Take it as you will. Back to the news. Let's look. XRP price rises as Ripple lawsuit expectations soar. This follows after James Filan, an attorney that routinely posts on the Ripple lawsuit, tweeted on March 7th that Judge Torres had issued a ruling on the party's motions to preclude expert testimony. Some of the gains had eased, and XRP was just up 2% in the last 24 hours at 37 cents at the time of the writing. The ruling was met with optimism with XRP community, and XRP enthusiast who goes by the name of Mr. Huber on Twitter wrote, a close win for Ripple on a purely mathematical basis. Honestly, so I looked at what his chart was over here, and I honestly didn't understand it. I didn't understand it. So I guess these are the expert witnesses. So who's being granted to testify? I saw something that one of the witnesses the SEC called actually owns Ripple, which is like crazy. He was an expert witness that I think they can't use now. It also goes on to say that Deaton replied with a note of positivity. I seriously doubt that we see a significant delay from here. Could be tonight or in a couple of weeks. And that was in response to, does this give any suggestion or hint on the remaining timing? Till. So that's interesting. That's pretty cool. Let's take a look at XRP before I let you guys continue your day. Trading view. Nope, wrong one. Here we go. You can see it better now. Let's look on. Let's stay consistent because I keep on using Coinbase. Oh, it's not being traded on Coinbase. Duh. What am I thinking? Let's use Binance. Spot. Let's take a look and see what we have here. Yeah, I mean, come on. It seems like flatlining. It definitely did not have a significant move off of the bottom in December as everything else did. I would say this is definitely poised for a breakout, in my opinion. I mean, the 200-day, the 200-week, and the 50-week are at 46 cents. Let's go to the daily quick and take a look. Yeah, look at that. The SEC did some number on this. It's like going sideways now. I have a trend line here. I must have. Yeah, look at that. I must have did this at some point. If it bounced off the trend line. Oh, let's take a look. It could be something like this even. Multiple touches here. One giant wick. So many people got in 30 cents. Look over here, down to 28. So yeah, so maybe we do see a breakout soon. Maybe something like this, guys. It's possible. Well, let's see if there's any fib levels. I think Ripple starts to get a little freaky. Yeah, it's getting rejected off 382 right now. Yeah, that hard rejection too. So maybe a retest down here and back up, and not even. It could still, it can go through. It doesn't have to. Look at it here. I mean, it could blow through it. It doesn't have to. Maybe one giant liquidity wick right like this. You know, maybe we see something down, bang through. I could tell you for something for sure though, when it hits this mark here, it's game on. When it hits that 46, which is pretty wild because I bet you that's similar to the weekly, the 200 week. Yeah, the 200 weekly is at 46 cents, and that coincides with the golden pocket on the daily. When it hits this, it's gonna really start to pop up. You know, so keep an eye on XRP. And guys, do me a favor. Make sure you like and subscribe. Drop a comment down below. Tell me how bad you like it. Tell me how bad it was, how good it was. I don't care. Just some kind of engagement would help. I appreciate it.